Well, surprise, surprise. Last-minute negotiations to prevent President Trump from imposing a 50% tariff on some $28 billion worth of Canadian exports have ended with no deal. It's an ironic outcome for Prime Minister Carney, who got elected on the basis of best being able to negotiate such trade deals with President Trump. I guess at this point now, Plan B is to wait for the upcoming November 3rd U.S. midterm elections and hope that the Democrats can seize control of the House and the Senate and reverse some of Trump's tariffs. But that's a Hail Mary play with no time on the clock for at least three reasons for the steel, aluminum, auto, and softwood lumber industries. The first is that despite Trump's admittedly waning popularity with the American electorate, the Democrats may not win. I mean, only a third of the seats in the Senate are up for grabs. And it's by no means clear that the Democrats would necessarily change Trump's policy. What is on the ascendancy in the Democratic Party is left-wing populism, with a worldview very similar to that of Senator Bernie Sanders, who unsuccessfully ran against Hillary Clinton for the Democratic nomination. Sanders is as big a fan of tariffs as is Trump. Now, he wouldn't target Canada out for specific tariff punishment, as Trump has done. He'd certainly support the sectoral tariffs that have been more hurtful to the Canadian economy than Trump's new measures. Thirdly, by all means, Trump doesn't require Congress approval. Trump can continue to issue executive orders based on arcane trade legislation for another 2 years after the midterm elections are over. So where does this leave Canada? By now it should be clear to everyone that CUSMA is dead. So by all means, we should retaliate. But with the American market being 10 times more important to the Canadian economy than the Canadian market is to the US economy, we can't possibly win a tariff war. Mark Carney is right to call his negotiators back from Washington, but the next thing he should do is get on a plane and fly to Beijing. If the United States doesn't want to have a free trade deal with Canada, maybe China does. After all, it was only a decade ago that we were negotiating just such a deal. Maybe it's time to reconsider that option. I'm Jeff Rubin, former chief economist and chief strategist at CIBC World Markets, and author of A Map of the New Normal.